The year was 1871, a time when America was still grappling with the aftermath of the Civil War. The nation was in a state of recovery, trying to rebuild and heal from the deep scars left by years of conflict. A nation, still healing from the wounds of civil war, found itself facing a different kind of enemy or fire. This new adversary was not one that could be fought with weapons or strategies, but one that required a different kind of resilience and unity. On October 8th, a date forever etched in the annals of American history, two devastating fires ravaged the heartland. These fires would go on to shape the future of fire safety and forest management in ways that were unimaginable at the time. One, the Great Chicago Fire, consumed the burgeoning metropolis, etching its fiery tale into the national consciousness. The fire spread rapidly, fueled by wooden buildings and strong winds, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The other, the Peshtigo Fire, swept through the Wisconsin countryside, claiming more lives than any other firestorm in American history. The Inferno was so intense that it created its own weather system, with tornadoes of fire that obliterated everything in their path. While Chicago's tragedy lives on in popular memory, the story of Peshtigo remains a haunting whisper, a stark reminder of nature's raw power and the fragility of human existence. The Peshtigo Fire, though less known, was far more deadly and destructive, yet it has not received the same level of attention or remembrance. This is the story of that firestorm, a tale of unimaginable destruction, resilience, and the enduring spirit of a community forever marked by tragedy. The people of Peshtigo faced a catastrophe of epic proportions, yet their stories of survival and rebuilding are a testament to human strength and perseverance. It is a story that needs to be told, not just to remember the lives lost, but to understand the lessons learned. The Peshtigo Fire taught us about the importance of fire safety, the need for better forest management, and the critical role of community preparedness in the face of natural disasters. The Peshtigo Fire serves as a potent reminder of the importance of respecting nature's fury and the need for vigilance in the face of potential disaster. It underscores the necessity of being prepared and the value of learning from past tragedies to prevent future ones. It is a story that transcends time, offering crucial insights into fire safety, forest management, and the indomitable human spirit that rises from the ashes. The legacy of the Peshtigo Fire is not just one of destruction, but also of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of community. October 8th, 1871, dawned like any other autumn day. The air was crisp, the leaves were turning shades of gold and crimson, and the world seemed to be at peace. Little did anyone know, this day would be etched into history for the calamities that were about to unfold. In the bustling city of Chicago, the winds carried the scent of industry and ambition. The streets were alive with the sounds of horse-drawn carriages, the clatter of machinery, and the chatter of people going about their daily lives. Chicago was a city on the rise, a beacon of progress and opportunity in the post-Civil War era. Unbeknownst to its residents, this day would mark a turning point in the city's history, forever remembered as the day the Great Fire swept through its streets. The fire would start small, but it would grow with a ferocity that no one could have anticipated, consuming everything in its path. Hundreds of miles north, in the quiet logging town of Peshtigo, Wisconsin, a different kind of tension hung in the air. Peshtigo was a town built on the back of the logging industry, surrounded by dense forests that provided the lifeblood of its economy. But that summer had been unusually dry, and the forests were a tinderbox waiting for spark. An unusually dry summer had transformed the dense forests surrounding the town into a tinderbox, primed for ignition. The loggers had been working tirelessly, cutting down trees and leaving behind piles of dry brush and sawdust, which only added to the danger. The townspeople went about their business unaware of the impending disaster. The air, thick with the smell of pine needles and dry earth, crackled with anticipation. It was as if the very atmosphere was holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable spark that would set everything ablaze. The tension was palpable, but life went on as usual. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie orange glow upon the land, fate took a tragic turn. The sky, once a canvas of serene colors, now seemed to foretell the chaos that was about to erupt. The calm before the storm was deceptive, masking the horrors that were about to unfold. In Chicago, a fire, sparked by legend in Mrs. O'Leary's barn, quickly grew into an inferno, fueled by strong winds and a city built largely of wood. The flames leaped from building to building, consuming homes, businesses, and landmarks with terrifying speed. The fire department, overwhelmed and under-equipped, struggled to contain the blaze. The firestorm raged for days, leaving a path of destruction in its wake and forever altering the city's landscape. By the time the flames were finally extinguished, much of Chicago lay in ruins. The once thriving city was now a smoldering wasteland, its people left to pick up the pieces and rebuild their lives from the ashes. Meanwhile, in the Wisconsin wilderness, a different kind of monster was unleashed. The dry forests around Peshtigo, already on edge, were about to be set ablaze by a spark that would ignite one of the deadliest fires in American history. At nearly the same hour that the Chicago fire began, a wall of flame driven by hurricane-force winds descended upon the unsuspecting town of Peshtigo. The fire moved with a speed and ferocity that defied belief, consuming everything in its path. Trees, buildings, and people were all caught in the Inferno's relentless advance. The firestorm, moving with terrifying speed and ferocity, engulfed everything in its path, transforming the once peaceful landscape into a raging inferno. The townspeople, caught off guard, had little time to react. Many sought refuge in the river, but even the water offered little protection from the intense heat and smoke. While Chicago's tragedy captured headlines and garnered national attention, the story of Peshtigo unfolded in relative obscurity, its horrors overshadowed by the scale of the urban disaster. Yet the Peshtigo fire remains one of the deadliest wildfires in history, a stark reminder of nature's power and the fragility of human life in the face of such overwhelming force. The roar of the approaching firestorm was like nothing anyone had ever heard. It was a sound that defied description, a cacophony that seemed to come from the very bowels of the earth. It was a deafening symphony of destruction, a relentless, all-consuming force that swallowed everything in its path. A chorus of wind, fire, and the tortured screams of the forest itself. Trees, once towering and majestic, were reduced to mere kindling in moments. Survivors likened it to the sound of 1,000 freight trains barreling towards them, an unstoppable juggernaut of flame and fury, their terror amplified by the sight of the sky ablaze with an unholy orange light. The heavens themselves seemed to be on fire, casting an eerie glow over the landscape. Those who lived to tell the tale spoke of unimaginable horrors, their voices trembling with the memory of that fateful night, their words painting a vivid picture of the fire's relentless fury. They described the heat so intense it felt as though their very skin was melting. One survivor, a farmer named Louis Cornu, described seeking refuge in his potato patch, a desperate attempt to escape the inferno. Burying himself in the cool earth as the firestorm raged overhead, he could feel the ground shaking with the force of the fire, the air around him scorching hot. He emerged hours later, his clothes singed, his lungs raw, to find his world reduced to ash and rubble. Everything he had known was gone, consumed by the fire. Another survivor, a young woman named Jenny Van Meter, recalled fleeing for her life with her family, their only thought to escape the relentless flames. The air thick with smoke and the screams of terrified animals. The sounds of the fire were punctuated by the cries of horses, cows, and other livestock, all caught in the path of destruction. They huddled in a nearby river, the water around them boiling from the intense heat as the firestorm swept over them. The river, usually a source of life, became their only refuge. The stories of Peshtigo's survivors are not just tales of escape from a natural disaster. They are chronicles of human endurance and resilience. They are testaments to the human spirit's remarkable ability to endure even the most unimaginable horrors. These accounts serve as a powerful reminder of the strength and courage that lies within us all. They serve as a stark reminder of the fire's devastating power, a force of nature that can obliterate entire communities in a matter of hours, and a poignant tribute to the resilience of those who lived through it. Their stories continue to inspire, reminding us of the indomitable human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. The Peshtigo fire was not merely a tragic accident. It was the culmination of a series of unfortunate events and environmental factors that aligned with devastating consequences. The summer of 1871 had been unusually dry. baking the dense forests of Wisconsin into a tinderbox. The region was in the midst of a logging boom, and the vast amounts of logging debris left scattered across the forest floor provided ample fuel for the fire. Adding to the volatile mix were strong winds generated by a low-pressure system moving in from the west. These winds, already powerful on their own, were further intensified by the fire itself, creating a terrifying phenomenon known as a fire whirl. Fire whirls are essentially tornadoes of fire, capable of generating hurricane-force winds and hurling burning debris for miles. On the night of October 8th, these factors converged with terrifying force. A small fire, possibly sparked by a passing train or careless logging practices, quickly grew out of control. Fanned by the strong winds and fueled by the dry timber and logging debris, the fire transformed into a raging inferno, consuming everything in its path.